Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader, with a quick update on Bitcoin. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Here we got the Bitcoin chart. I'm looking at Bitstamp right now. Happy Easter, everybody. I did notice a little pattern was setting up here on the 4 hour. Let me actually switch over to a shorter time frame. It was like super clear. Typically, you'll see like bullish activity on holidays. Just in general, because I just find like most people are bullish on cryptocurrency. So while traditional markets are closed, like you're more likely to get like a bullish move, just because you don't have like the extra negative pressure from traditional markets. That's just my opinion. I don't really trade based off of that, but I find typically like holidays you'll get a pump leading up to them and then like a dump later on. So this was the pattern I saw like basically setting up, which was essentially like Adam and Eve reversal pattern off of the 382 retracement that we were talking about yesterday. So basically that was the sell-off down to 382. We found some support twice, first the Adam, then the Eve rounding bottom. We found it at the top of the channel, that we had broken out of, and then come back down to test. And then, obviously when we came back up here and retest the neckline, it was very clear, like Adam and then the Eve pattern playing out. So we figured if we close at this point right here, we could get like a potential breakout move, which we were talking about yesterday, from the 382 back up to the 236. Now the measured move would take us potentially up here to like 71.32. We could potentially like retest the red trend line that was like basically resistance, and then we broke above, got support from it, broke below, so now we come back up, retest it, and find it as resistance this time. But I'm not going to get greedy on this one. Like the real move is basically the 382 back to the 236. So I went ahead, took profits right there. I have a little bit of the trade running back up here, and then if it gets taken back out, down here, that's fine as well. But I like to always leave something just in case it goes nuts here or whatever. But as you can see, depending on what time frame you're on, obviously Stoke Slope nailed this on the 1 hour, and then you could also see, obviously, I mean, all of these were looking good. You saw the intensity starting to build right here. You saw the slope switch back over. I usually don't really mess with the hour unless I'm just doing like some quick little scalps, or I'm looking for like an entry or an exit for like a longer term trade, and I just want to make sure I don't go like straight underwater on it. But basically you could see we were losing like the momentum through this area as we consolidated on top of like this support area, and then basically flipped over the slope from blue to yellow, like less intense, and then eventually if we get enough positive pressure, we would flip it back over to blue with like successive green candles. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, because this, I think, was just a retracement of that dump right there. But we did get the Stoke Slope exit the control zone, give you the green buy, and then the hard buy signal here right before this little move up there, which was nice. And then yeah, I mean, overall, water tower explosion, they all pretty much just nailed it. So I do encourage you, if you're not already using these indicators, to check them out, and same with Fibonacci as well. And then, I did want to pull up on, what was I going to do? Oh, I think, damn, I can't remember what I was going to do. I was going to pull something else up here. What did we do? The fibs already, 236. We already did the long-term fibs here. Yeah, I think we pretty much nailed all that in yesterday's video. Basically, we're just coming down here to essentially get like the retest of this area, try to push back up here. We're going to hit like this top area right here again, and then potentially form like a, I think I had kind of noticed this, maybe is what I was thinking. There's essentially like, if you look at the top part of that channel right there, the red, and then look at like a horizontal right here, and then essentially if we got that move a little bit higher up here, but it could top out right now if it wanted to, but potentially if we just got like the rest of this measured move here, which is part of why I left some of that position open, and essentially came up to like, I don't know, 71.50, which is only like another $100 higher than we made it. But essentially that would give us like a shoulder, neck, head, shoulder, or I'm sorry, neck, shoulder, and then neck. And then if we got the breakdown from this slanted inverse head and shoulders, essentially like the measured move from that would be you know, depending when we broke, but it basically gives us that exact same move. Oops. I don't know why I care which way it's facing, but that essentially gives us that exact same move down to the bottom of the channel. You know what I mean? So we had like this diagonal support line that was the third of the parabolic. So we had like the green parabolic line like bounce up here, and then as the trend was starting to become less intense, we formed the blue one, and we were tracing up the blue parabolic line, and then you'll see like next we had these 2 points come over here, and that would give us like the third and the least intense. So it'd be like the green is intense, the blue is less intense, the yellow is almost even, and then if we come back down after that, take out the low, come back down to the bottom of the channel like we were talking about, potentially get our measure move with the 1.618, all that good stuff. So but yeah, essentially that's what we're looking to happen is this basically come up here, bounce, get a rejection, come back down, you know, get a lesser bounce right here, and then break through and come down, test essentially the third parabolic trend line, and then that's essentially like the last point you can make before you're putting in like a lower swing than the previous like discernible swing. So that's what I'm looking at right now, guys. I'm going to keep it quick today. Happy Easter. Like I said, we could get the potential move back up here as high as like 7,400. I think that is less likely. We should definitely pay attention to our daily close today and you know, weekly close as well. I think it's very likely that we're going to come back in line you know, with spot as the traditional markets open back up. They tend to like you know, line back up. So there you have it, guys. Happy Easter, crypto trend trader, and I'm out of here.